Stop now. Listen. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You have been counting by clocks and calendars, by the tremor behind your eyes and the weight that sits between your ribs. You lined up the days like bottles on a shelf and wondered if any of them held the taste of change. Hear me. While you named this season still, I named it setup. While you traced circles in dust, I laid tracks beneath the dust. While you held your breath, I taught the wind which way to blow. Breathe in for 4, hold out for 6. Let your shoulders fall from their guard. Let your jaw unclench. Your hands don't have to live like fists. You do not clean the room to invite me in. I enter, and the room becomes holy. Set down the ledger of delays. Set down the list of almosts and not yets you kept like a second spine. Nothing you prayed vanished into silence. Nothing expired in the storehouse of heaven. My word does not wither in transit. The seal upon what I spoke reads, fulfilled in its time. And time bows when I speak. Look again. The hinge is catching light. The pin slides. A quiet clicks open. The corridor that narrowed to a straw's width widens to a hall. The door that forgot how to move remembers. I'm the carpenter of chances and the locksmith of seasons. I shape wood that said never into arches that say now. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You questioned the river upstream, imagined it dry beyond your sight. You asked if the messenger lost the road, if your ears betrayed you, if hope mispronounced your name. No, the river did not dry, it tunneled. The messenger did not wander. The road bent under my hand. I do not whisper yes and live no. I do not stutter when I bless. Hear the house settle without groaning. Hear the small bird outside refuse to ask permission for song. These are advance notices. The first notes of arrival hum before the procession appears. You do not yet see the crest of what comes. But if you listen, leather murmurs, wheels breathe. Footsteps belong to courage again. You called yourself afterthought. You wore nearly like a coat. You learned to walk bent so expectation would not be disappointed. Stand. At full height, your spine remembers joy. Your mouth was shaped for more than size. Beloved, rise. I've written a new name inside your frame, and it does not rhyme with lack. The night claimed it was endless, but it could not explain the line of light beneath the curtain. The valley swore there were no exits, but it could not silence your breath, answering from higher ground. The desert preached nothing grows, but it could not find the seed I hid beneath the sand on the day you said yes through tears. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You fear that if you hope too loudly, disappointment will hear and come. You fear that if you rejoice too soon, joy will be confiscated. You fear my goodness is a hallway with a trap door. My joy has no trapdoors. Gratitude does not jinx gifts. Gratitude is a key. Turn it. Hear the tumblers drop. Watch the latch surrender not to force, but to thanks. I am not bargaining with your pain. I am not measuring your worth, not tallying to see if mercy is affordable today. I am here, near enough to hear the sentence you never finished, close enough to feel the tremble that hides in your fingers. Place that tremble in my hand. Shaking learns a new name when it rests in steadiness. You prayed where no audience gathered. You forgave without applause. You blessed in secret and filed no receipt. Nothing of this evaporated. Germination loves the dark. Roots begin shy, not weak. Delay meant depth. Depth means you will not be ripped out when fruit arrives heavy. There is a map. Yes, I drew it. It favors elevation over distance, formation over speed, truth over trend. It is not allergic to detours, because detours are the only roads wide enough for what I send. I took the long way to widen your heart without breaking it. I used the side door to hide you from wolves while you healed. I guided you through the quiet so your ears would learn mine. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Do you remember the afternoon you almost retired tenderness? When hardness received a standing ovation and you nearly bowed to it? You didn't. You kept a corner of softness folded like a note in your pocket. You opened it just to check if it still said mercy. It does. That softness is not liability. It is likeness. It is why you will know what to do when the gift arrives and asks to be stewarded, not displayed. Lift your face. Let your eyes practice meeting light. You are not rehearsing loss anymore. You are warming up for inheritance. Peace is already walking your street. Provision crossed the border of your tomorrow with documents signed in my name. Healing passed quietly at midnight when you slept and could not argue with kindness. Restoration boarded the early train because dawn insisted on witness. Honor is coming as a mirror, not a trophy, so you will see what I say when you forget. No one can stop it, not the critic who learned. Your middle name, not the giant who learned. The shape of your door, not the memory that pretends to be now, not the fear that dresses like wisdom. To be let inside, I veto verdicts I never wrote. I cancel contracts panic drafted. I revoke permissions you gave to lesser voices. My decree stands like sky that refuses to fall. Hold yourself like a house prepared. Clear a table. Place 2 cups. Open a window. Light a lamp. Teach the room its owner. Speak aloud what you believe when the room is empty. Tell the walls kindness knows the address. Tell the doorstep blessing wears quiet shoes. Tell the floorboards to remember the weight of dancing. When old ache knocks, do not call it home. Offer it water, then send it on. Pain is not your landlord. Shame is not your surname. Anxiety is not your calendar. Let my voice be the only pen allowed on your days. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. I do not convene a committee to approve your future. I do not seek the consent of those who underestimated you. I do not need weather to cooperate to plant a garden inside your chest. I speak and soils listen. I call and stones roll. I gesture and grave cloth loosens. I name what is not as though it is, and it becomes. You will call this the moment arrival began. The soft click before the latch, the perfume before the door, the pressure change before rain. You will say something shifted, and you will be right. I moved a mountain the size of a thought. I bent a line that pretended to be straight. I revealed a path hiding under your feet the whole time. Align your words with mine. Say, it is coming. Say, I will see it. Say, I am ready inside as well as outside. Readiness is not a stack of documents. It is a yielded heart. Preparation is not perfection. It is permission. Permission given to grace to be as generous as grace chooses. If this word is lifting you, stay with me. And if you want this hope to reach another weary heart, subscribe and let the light keep moving. If you must cry, cry while you make room. If you must rest, rest with the lamp burning. If you must be quiet, let the quiet be faith, not fear. And when the knock comes, because it will, do not apologize for opening quickly. Do not apologize for joy that looks like running. Do not apologize for a face that forgets how to be careful. You waited well. Let celebration teach your muscles a new language. I am not teasing you with hints. I'm training you with hope. I'm not hiding peace. I'm placing peace where you cannot misplace it, at the center where you keep your yes. Touch your chest. That is where I build my thrones. I do not rent a corner. I reign with kindness. What I reign over flourishes. What I touch awakens. What I promise arrives. Now say it with me, not as a slogan but as breath you believe. What you promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Stand inside that sentence until it stands inside you. Let it frame bills and reports and headlines and memories. Let it cushion hard chairs and lantern narrow halls. When doubt clears its throat, answer gently, I have heard a better word. When fear arrives with credentials, respond calmly. The owner is home. Beloved, this is the hour where waiting loosens its grip and wonder learns your name. The place where sorrow sets down its suitcase and laughter nails a photograph to the wall. This is the day your body remembers how light feels when nothing heavy needs proving. I am here. I am faithful. I am not late. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Look again. Hear the hinge breathe. Feel the room change temperature. What you called a lifetime of closed corridors was a season of hidden carpentry. I worked behind the wall where your hands could not reach. I measured the frame. I planed the warped grain. I reset the pins that time had bent. I taught the door to remember its first purpose, opening. You stood with your ear to the wood and heard only your own heartbeat. You thought the silence meant denial. It meant craftsmanship. It meant patience, strong enough to bear your weight. It meant the next swing would not splinter, and the next threshold would not betray your step. Breathe. Let the old knocking fall from your knuckles. You will not need to bruise yourself to enter what is yours. I am the carpenter of chances. I am the locksmith of seasons. I fit promise to passage with a precision you do not have to understand, to trust. I do not guess at angles. I do not hurry the cure of the wood. I do not leave a latch that fails in the night. Hear it, the soft click that ends a long winter, the clean slide of a bolt that forgot how to move, the first complaint of a screw turning toward mercy. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You carried copies of keys that never matched the teeth of destiny. You tried them all. Effort, image, over-explanation, apology. They scraped, they scratched, they stuck. Lay them down. I forged a new one in the secret fire of waiting. It turns without force. It honors the door, and the door honors it back. Stand still and listen to the frame speak. It says, welcome. It says, you fit. It says, you were expected. You feared that thresholds are tricks, that after the first step, the floor would give way. But I lay joists where fear imagined gaps. I hid strength under the grain, so your feet would learn trust by walking. This house does not collapse when you breathe. This house was built for the weight of your yes. Take one step. Hear the answer of the floorboards. Take another. Let the hallway widen to meet your courage. The corridor that narrowed to a straw's width widens to a hall. Light finds corners it has not visited in years. Dust loses its argument for staying. Air remembers how to move. I have been working on more than wood and metal. I tuned your hearing to the pitch of my voice. I taught your hands the difference between forcing and partnering. I trained your eyes to prefer true light over the flares of spectacle. So when the door opens, you will not rush like fear. You will enter like peace. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You worried about the hands on the other side. Gatekeepers, critics, watchers at windows. Let them watch. They did not build this entrance. They cannot bar it. I wrote your name along the lintel before you knew the word belonging. The hinges answer to me. The seasons turn on my wrist. I recalibrated the swing so it would not slam against your past. I softened the edge that used to catch your clothes and nick your hope. I sanded the places that taught you to walk small. Now you will pass without snagging. Now you will breathe without bracing. Put your palm to the grain. Feel the story inside the rings. Years of drought survived, years of rain absorbed, a patience that kept growing inward when outward felt impossible. This door remembers what endurance sounds like. That is why it opens when you sing. Sing, low at first, the way a dawn begins, then clearer like a bell in clean air. Let your voice be the handle. Let your truth be the keyway. Let your gratitude be the turn. I am here in the oil that keeps the hinge from accusing you. I'm here in the level that holds the world steady while you step. I am here in the plumb line that says upright, when shame says crooked. I am here in the welcome that greets you before you knock. Do not apologize for the way you enter. You are not breaking in. You are coming home. You ask for a sign that this is not a dream made of want. Listen to the ordinary. Obey me. The latch answers. The air shifts. Your heart slows to the tempo of trust. Even your shadow stands taller. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. If a door closes behind you, it is not to trap you. It is to keep out the weather that used to live in your bones. If a window opens ahead of you, it is not to tempt escape. It is to teach you how far light can travel when nothing stands in the way. Walk the hall and count the thresholds I have prepared. Each one leads to a room fitted for a part of your calling, a table for counsel, a studio for making, a quiet place where tears turn to water for gardens. You will not have to choose between them. You will learn the rhythm of moving with me from one to the other without losing yourself. Set your hand again upon the doorknob. Feel how it warms to your touch. You are not an intruder to your own life. You are not late to the appointment your name was spoken for. Every turn you make with me leaves the metal gleaming, and when you hear another heart waiting in a corridor like the one you knew, teach their hands what pressure is kind. Loan them your song until their own returns. Tell them the secret every hinge knows. Oil is just love with patience in it. I am not finished building. Even as you enter, I am drafting additions you have not imagined. Sunrooms for laughter, cellars for memory where nothing rots, stairs that rise without stealing your breath. My architecture wastes no pain and hoards no glory. It turns both into shelter. Look back once, not to mourn, but to bless. Then look forward. The next door is learning your name. The next handle is learning your hand. All creation is practicing welcome. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Let the final sound be simple, a click, a breath, a step, and then the quiet certainty that follows. You are inside what I opened. You are safe where I placed you. You are free to walk every room I light. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Look at your name. Not the one the world handed you in haste, not the one fear scrawled on a bad day, not the one shame kept whispering in the hallway. Hold it up to the light. Watch the false letters fade. Watch the true letters glow. You are not afterthought. You are not almost. You are not nearly beloved, chosen, kept. Wrote that before your first heartbeat. And I did not use pencil. You learned to live with your shoulders half raised, as if the sky might fall if you relaxed. You learned to edit your laughter, to soften your hope, to practice the art of leaving early so disappointment wouldn't find your address. Lay those skills down. They are not needed where we are going. They were never meant to be furniture in your house. Listen, there is sound on the road, not thunder, not panic, not the boots of dread. Rehearsing old scenes, this is softer, steady, assured. Leather, speaking in low syllables. Wheels, exhaling dust. Steps that remember where they're headed. The first wagons of fulfillment are nearer than your doubt admits. They do not hurry. They have nothing to fear. They carry what I said on days you thought I said nothing. They carry answers in plain cloth. Not to impress you, but to fit the shape of your everyday do. Not look for spectacle, look for fidelity. Look for the same kindness arriving again and again from directions you did not. Expectant hours you did not schedule. A bird on the fence sings without asking permission. That's how hope behaves. When it knows who owns the morning. Let your chest learn that. Song, let your breath keep time. You asked for a sign. Here is one. Your fear is running out of vocabulary. It keeps repeating itself. While peace keeps finding new ways to say stay, you asked for another. Here is one. Your shoulders are remembering how to lower without being told, and another your eyes are holding light longer than they used to. They are not flinching at goodness. They are not blinking away. Mercy, I am not only sending gifts. I am restoring the hands that will hold them. I am teaching your fingers to trust their own strength, to grip without clawing, to release without regret. Call yourself by the name. Say it softly at first, beloved, then clearer, chosen, then with your full voice, kept. Let the old labels fall like coats in summer. Hang them where they belong, on a peg you no longer need, in a room you no longer live in. See the horizon, that pale seam where night loosens its grip? That is not imagination. That is me keeping time with perfect accuracy. I do not miss dawn. I do not misplace daybreak. There will be ordinary moments that open like envelopes. A message you forgot you sent returns with an answer. A door you stopped knocking at swings in a breeze. A face you have not seen in years carries news like water. Not call these accidents. Call them arrivals. Call them what they are. Promises. Keeping their appointments. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. You worry that celebration will make you careless. Hear me. Gratitude sharpens you. It does not dull your edge. It teaches you to notice the exact size of grace. to measure with joy instead of fear, to remember with praise instead of panic. Practice. Now thank me for breath you just took. Thank me for the chair that held you. Thank me for the thought that did not spiral. These are the first coins of a new economy. Your story has rooms you prefer to keep dim. I know where. The switch is, I will not flip it to shame you. I will open the window to air it. Light does not expose you to wound you. Light reveals you to heal you. You will hear footsteps behind you and turn in alarm. It will be goodness and mercy, following like loyal friends who know your route by heart. You will hear your name called from the field, not as a warning, but as an invitation to see what's growing, where you once declared the soil dead. When the caravans reach your gate, you will be tempted to say, "This is too much, this is too soon." Let generosity finish its sentence. Let kindness complete its thought. I am not overdoing it. I'm correcting the deficit of years where scarcity tutored your imagination. You are not an imposter in answered prayer. You are the intended recipient. Sign for the package with the ink of trust. Open it with the knife of gratitude. Use it with the wisdom. We gathered in the quiet. You feared that if you stood tall, you would become a target. Stand tall anyway. I am your height and your shield. You feared that if you spoke hope, you would invite mockery. Speak hope anyway. I am your sentence and your shelter. There is a dignity. I am returning to your posture. It is not swagger. It is not apology. It is the calm of one who knows the door is open and the room was prepared in advance. When others ask what changed, tell them the truth without spectacle. My name. Say it again if needed. My name. Beloved, chosen, kept. Let this identity travel faster than news, deeper than rumor, stronger than habit. Let it sit first at your table and bless the bread before you eat. Let it walk the perimeter of your thoughts and secure the gates before you. Sleep. You will not have to defend what I defend. You will not have to prove what I pronounce. You will not have to explain what I embody beside you. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it when the small signs feel too quiet. Remember, seed sounds are always soft, the loudest. Things are often empty. The quiet things carry kingdoms. Look at your hands. Again, they are steadier. They are kinder to what they hold. They are ready to pass, blessing without dropping it, without gripping it to the point of harm. Bless as you go, call others by the names I give them. Loan courage like bread make. Room at your table for travelers of hope. This is how arrival multiplies. This is how promise becomes pathway for many. And when night tries one more time to convince you that nothing has changed, touch your chest. You will feel the difference. Peace has moved in and signed the lease. Joy has found the spare key and knows the stairs in the dark. I am not guessing about you. I am not experimenting with your future. I am fulfilling what I spoke. Carefully, completely, compassionately. Say your name one more time. The name I enjoy. The name I inscribed. Beloved, chosen, kept. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Put your hand on the earth of your own heart. Feel how it is not empty ground. It remembers rain. It remembers roots. It remembers the weight of a seed that seemed like nothing. Nothing is not nothing when I plant it. A whisper is not small when I breathe through it. A delay is not denial when I bury treasure to grow it tall. You wanted a harvest in the hour you sowed. I wanted a forest that could hold weather. You wanted fruit before noon. I wanted roots that keep you through winters you cannot yet name. Listen to the dark. It is not against you. It is a womb for what cannot survive direct sun too soon. The soil is doing more than hiding. It is holding, warming, guarding the tender split where life begins. Break, little seed. Split where it hurts. Open where you swore you could not. Let go of your shell. You were never meant to keep that armor forever. The first miracle is downward. The first answer points into depths, not heights, roots before branches, anchor before anthem, silence before song. Do not despise what grows where eyes don't go. Do not call it inactivity because the surface looks unchanged. Underground is where you become unstealable. Underground is where you learn the language of water. Underground is where you make covenant with staying. I sent rain without announcement. I sent warmth through cold ground. I sent minerals from stones that once resisted you. Even the hard things are feeding you now. Even the seasons that starved you have become bread. You called the calendar your judge. Let it retire. Time is a servant here. It carries buckets to your roots. It stands guard at night. It keeps watch while you sleep, and names each hour enough. Delay meant depth. Depth means you will not be ripped out when fruit arrives heavy. Hear the roots speak. They say, stay. They say, hold. They say, drink what comes. I will make it useful. They pull wisdom from old floods and pack it into new strength. I am the gardener who refuses to rush you into the wind. I am the keeper who knows which storms are coming and grows you accordingly. I am the teacher who drills you in the quiet, so praise in public will not make you hollow. Not every green thing is growth. Some things flare, then fail. I am not raising fireworks. I am raising trees, shade for wanderers, shelter for birds, fruit for hungry friends you haven't met yet. You asked me why the field stayed brown. It didn't. It was writing a story you could not read from the road. It was composing a root psalm in the dark. Every verse ended with this promise: hold fast. Rain has your name on it. Feel the first push. A pale spear of life pressing toward air. It trembles and insists. It pierces yesterday's crust. That soundless crack is a trumpet in heaven. Rise, tender shoot. Do not be ashamed of small beginnings. Small is honest, small is accurate. Small is how oak introduces itself to sky. I will pace your growth so weight will not break you. I will teach your trunk to disagree with the wind without hating it. I will show your leaves how to spend light without going into debt. You will learn exchange, sun into sugar, pain into prayer, waiting into wisdom. The insects that once devoured you will become teachers. You will grow bark where they taught you you were soft. You will grow rings where they thought you would remain thin. Every ring is a testimony. Every ring says, I lived another season. Every ring says, he kept me. Do not compare gardens. Climates differ, soils speak in dialects. Assignments are not identical. You are not late, you are layered, you are not behind, you are becoming deep. When drought visits, and it will, I will lead your roots to an old river beneath the map. People will ask, how are you still green? Answer quietly, we prepared in the dark. When flood comes, and it will, I will teach the ground to drink without drowning you. You will hold through surge and swirl, not because you are stubborn, but because you are anchored. You prayed for branches, I gave you backbone. You prayed for fruit, I gave you fibers that can carry it. You prayed for speed, I gave you seasons that make sweetness instead of shadows. Pick up the spade of gratitude, turn yesterday's soil, bless the stones that stayed. They became your terrace. Bless the worms that worked, they kept the underground alive. Bless the rain that cancelled your plans, it kept covenants with your future. Look, buds like punctuation after long sentences, each one a small exclamation of my faithfulness. They do not compete. They keep time with each other because they keep time with me. You feared the harvest would expose you. It will reveal me. Taste will tell on my kindness. Scent will testify to my patience. Color will echo the light I sent. When hands come to pick, you will not flinch. You were grown for giving. You will not resent the basket. You will rejoice in the table that waits on the other side of the field. Leave margin on your boughs. Not every fruit is for market. Some are for the traveler who did not plan to pass this way. Some are for the child who cannot reach without your leaning low. Some are for planting again. Next hills, next valleys, next years that will need what you carry. I keep your roots in my hands. I circle your trunk with my promise. I crown your branches with my weather. I appoint your fruit to find hungry ones, by paths you will never walk. And when winter draws near, do not panic. Dormant is not dead. Rest is not regression. You will learn the holy art of unhurry. Sap will slow like a prayer at night. Energy will travel inward to mend and plan. Even snow becomes mulch in my arithmetic. I will prune what steals from you. I will never cut to embarrass. I cut to increase. I will shape you for light. I will remove the crossings that bruise you. I will free the future that was trapped behind too many good things. Hold steady when shears gleam. The blade is love, the angle is wisdom, the result is room for air, for sun, for singing. This field is not a performance. It is a partnership. I do not clap to shame you forward. I walk the rows and speak your true name until you stand strong. Every morning I check the dew like a father checking a sleeping child. Every evening I tally the starlight like a shepherd, counting what belongs to him. Nothing in your acres is beneath my notice. Nothing in your roots is beyond my reach. When you feel the old impatience scratching at your bark, lay your cheek against the windward side and remember, we are making wood, not paper. We are building shade, not slogans. We are preparing altars, not displays. Teach your leaves to applaud quietly when others bloom. Teach your branches to make room for birds who do not know your name. Teach your fruit to be generous with sweetness. This is how forests speak. This is how promise becomes habitat. And when I say the word, ripen, you will. Not because you strain, but because you trust. Sugar finds its way, color arrives on schedule, stem yields without sorrow. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Let that sentence be water at your roots. Let it be sun at your crown. Let it be rest in winter and song in spring. Let it be courage when the axe of rumor swings harmlessly at your trunk. Let it be peace when the wind rehearses its old tricks. You are not fragile. You are planted. You are not exposed. You are enclosed. You are not guesswork. You are a garden I designed, and I am not done. The field ahead is already learning your shade. The hill beyond is already tasting your fruit in dream. The path between is already soft with fallen leaves that will become next year's strength. Hold still, grow deep, rise true, give sweet. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Spread the map on the table of your heart. Do you see the faint lines others missed? Do you see the contours that look like hesitation, but are really protection? I drew these paths with a steady hand, marked elevations you could not measure from the valley. I favor height over hurry. I favor formation over speed. I favor truth over trend. You wanted a straight highway that made sense to every observer. Gave you a sure path that makes sense to me, a line that climbs when the crowd asks for shortcuts, a turn that looks like loss but keeps you from a cliff, a pause that shelters you while the storm spends itself on empty fields. Breathe, run. Your finger along the ridge I chose. Feel how the air clears as you rise. Confusion thins at higher altitudes. Voices that used to tower over you grow small. Like toys left in grass, I taught your feet the patience of switchbacks. Left, then right, then left again. Not to taunt you, to strengthen you. Muscle learns endurance by meeting the same slope from different angles. Your spirit learns wisdom the same way. There is a side door on this map. It is not second best, it is safety. I hid you from wolves by leading you behind the hedgerow. Through orchards they do not bother to patrol. Past wells they do not know how to draw from. You called it obscurity. I called it sanctuary. You asked why I erased one road. With my thumb, you did not see the ambush ahead. You asked why I penciled a path through bramble. You did not see the honey hidden in that thicket. I am not improvising routes as you walk. I walked them all before you. I planted rest stops where you will need them. Posted angels where night would otherwise argue. Stashed courage like bread beneath stones you will sit on. Listen, maps have a sound when they are true. They crackle with memory. They rustle with promises kept. This parchment knows your name. It has tear salt in its fibers and laughter in its margins. You feared missing your turning. I tuned your ear to my compass. Not a needle of metal, a knowing that leans, a peace that becomes heavy when you face the wrong way. Light when you turn toward me. Take 3 steps forward. Stop. Do you feel the calm increase? That is how we will travel. Not by panic, by presence. I have drawn places where you must not camp. Even though the grass looks soft, comfort is not always care. I have also circled wilderness where you will rest surprisingly well, because I will make a table there and teach the desert how to set it. There is an X on this map, not for treasure you must dig for the promises that will dig you out. When you reach that mark, you will not have to demand access. The ground will yield like a friend who has been saving your seat. You will meet travelers. Some carry rumors like dust, some carry water like mercy. Let your discernment be simple. Drink from whoever makes you more honest with me. Walk with whoever slows you enough to hear me. Even if their pace ruins your schedule, do not fear the narrow bridge. I reinforced it when you slept. Do not fear the tunnel. I laid lanterns at intervals. Your anxiety cannot anticipate, but your faith will recognize. Do not fear the pass between high rock. The echo there will teach you how loudly praise can sound with only a whisper. If fear tries to sell you a different chart, notice the ink. It runs when it meets tears. My lines do not blur when you cry. They shine. You once asked me why detours come just when momentum feels precious. Hear this. Detours are where I add strength without audience. They are where I repair axles and rename you. They are where the enemy forgets your scent because you walked in peace, not panic. I sealed borders that used to leak you dry. Old companions called should and prove lost their visas. Shame's passport is revoked. Comparison's contraband has been confiscated at the gate. You travel lighter now. Place your ear to the paper. Hear the blessing. I wrote along the margins. No lost mile, no wasted turn, no uncounted tear, no unnoticed yes. I will make all of it road under you. I am not only guiding you to places, I'm guiding places to you. Assignments are walking toward your coordinates. Solutions are learning your voice so they answer when you speak. People you will love well are taking unexpected turns right now, for reasons they cannot name, that will set them at a table I prepared for you to share. When night falls on this route, do not draw monsters where I have drawn stars. Name what you see, the faithful lamps of heaven. The quiet breath of trees, the steady rhythm of your own steps matched to mine. Darkness cannot author your story. It can only show how reliably light returns. Stand at the crest I chose. Look back without regret. See the valley where panic tried to crown itself. See the ravine where shame tried to echo forever. See the field where you learned to call me good with empty hands. All of that shaped your stride. None of it stole your future. Now look ahead. The line descends into kindness. River bends toward favor. The city at the edge of this plain is not a test, it is a trust. Gates will open because they recognize my seal on you. Windows will lift because hope wants your voice in its rooms. If you lose your place your hand on your chest. This is the compass. Peace is north, love is east and west. My presence is every direction at once. Stand still until the swirl settles. Then take the smallest obedient step. Obedience is how we fold distances. I will send signs you cannot mistake. A road that seems too quiet, but hums with promise. A stranger who says your prayer without knowing your language. A door that opens inward when you thought you had to push. Mark those places in your memory. They are mileposts carved by mercy. When you must choose between flashy and faithful, choose faithful. When you must choose between quick and true, choose true. When you must choose between being seen and being whole, choose whole, and I will see to the rest. You are not wandering, you are being Led, you are not lost. You are being placed. You are not at the mercy of detours. Detours are at the mercy of my purpose. Roll up the map and tie it with trust. We move now, not because you finally found a perfect route, but because my presence makes every good route possible. Keep your ear soft, your pace honest, your eyes open for small kindnesses that point like arrows. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. And if fear tries again at the next bend, let your feet answer before your mouth does. Step forward anyway. Peace will catch up. Joy will join, and goodness will keep the rear guard. This is how we travel, hand in mind. Heart like a compass, hope like a lantern that never runs out. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Open the door you set for dawn. Let the morning step across the sill. Do you feel the weight of light? It is gentle, but it is not small. It carries announcements wrapped in calm. Set the table. 2 cups, bread in reach, room for one more chair. Make space like someone who knows company is certain. You have lived, long with borrowed expectations. Return them. You have kept watch by windows that faced the wrong street. Turn them face the way the wind has been pointing all night. Listen to the ordinary obey. Me kettles sing, latches rest floors. Remember how to hold. Dancing, even the air practices welcome. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Do not brace for impact. Prepare for embrace. This is not an inspection. This is an arrival. The gift you feared would demand a performance, will ask only for honesty and room. Name the rooms with truth. Call this one peace. Call that one courage. Call the small sunlit alcove mercy. Call the long hallway endurance. Every name will fit. Gratitude is a key. Hold it. Turn it without hurry. Hear the inner tumblers fall into agreement. Doors open best to thankfulness, because thankfulness speaks the dialect of promise. If worry asks for a chair, stand with me at the sink and rinse it away. We will not entertain it today. If shame knocks with past proofs, then point to the decree on your wall paid. Washed mine. I am not sending a parcel from far-off quarters. I am walking in with what I spoke, arms full, voice steady, timing exact. Carry restoration like a garment tailored to your measure. I carry wisdom like a lamp with oil that will not embarrass you. I carry joy like a river that knows your name. Set aside the language of scarcity. It has no chores in this house. Use the language of stewardship. Ask, how shall we use this well? Ask, who needs a seat at this table? Ask, where can this overflow heal what hunger left behind? You are not auditioning for answered prayer. You are receiving inheritance. You are not juggling for favor. You are living from favor. Let your breath match that truth. Slow, full, unafraid. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. When the bell rings, open without apology. Don't tidy the proof of living. I prefer homes with evidence of hearts. Let laughter come first and explanations arrive later. Let tears have a plate and a napkin. Let silence sit and be. Holy between sentences. Veto verdicts that tried to shrink your table. Overturn orders that kept you in the narrow room. I cancel old permissions you gave to anxiety to rearrange the furniture. This is your dwelling and my delight. We will set it in order together. If you feel the old, flinch at the threshold. A pause with me, one breath. Remember, the door opens for you. The floor is allied to your steps. The lamps have rehearsed this light. Bless the house. Aloud, bless the walls for holding your prayers. Bless the windows for teaching your eyes to hope. Bless the roof for saying not today to storms. Bless the table for teaching your hands to give and receive. Take inventory. The way heaven counts, not what is missing, what is moving, not what you lack, what you carry. Track the faithfulness that arrived in small daily shipments. Patience in brown paper, kindness with no logo, courage in unbranded jars. Lay out the tools of welcome, a listening chair, a gentle question, not a story that ends with mercy, a song you don't mind. Zinging twice, a blessing that fits in a pocket for travelers. I am not finished arranging. I am placing reminders where you will see them when you forget. corner that glows at the hour you used to be afraid, a picture that looks like peace from every angle, a threshold that sighs yes when you pass. If memory tries to renegotiate the terms of joy, point to me, I will answer. If accusation returns with paperwork, point to my seal, I will refuse it. If fear stands outside with a clipboard, close the curtains and start a hymn. Let praise be the document we file. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Practice the art of enough. Eat slowly. Speak kindly. Leave margin on your plate for someone who arrives late. Make room on your calendar for surprises authored by goodness. Hold your plans like doors on soft hinges. When you step into the street, carry your welcome with you. Bless thresholds that are not yours yet. Smile at windows where someone is learning to believe. Tap the rail of the bridge and say, strong, for those who will cross after you. Scatter simple sentences that sound like open gates. Come in, sit down, rest here, you're safe. We'll send faces you did not expect. Treat them like promises in person. Look for the ones with tired eyes and good hearts. They will remember how you made room long after they forget what you said. Do not fear generosity. It does not bankrupt. It underwrites. It does not drain. It drills new wells. It does not weaken. It strengthens the beams from within. When night comes, let the lamps do their work. This house was wired for hope. Even shadows know their limits here. Let the clock tick. Friendly, let floors creak like old friends settling. Let the kettle sing the last song. Before you sleep, return to the refrain that steadied you at the start. Say it into the dark so the dark learns your language. Say it into your own heart so it sleeps without guarding every door. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. If dawn wakes you early with a weight you cannot name, bring it to the table. We will weigh it against promise. Promise is heavier. If noon finds you restless, open a window and let faith rearrange the air. If evening brings you memory with sharp edges, wrap it in gratitude until it cannot cut. I am here in the mundane, here in the mending, here in the rhythms that do not trend but save. Lives every day. Make your bed like liturgy. Wash dishes like prayer. Lock doors like trust. Turn off lights like benediction. Teach your house to bless you back. Chair that reminds you to sit without shrinking. A mirror that speaks truth without cruelty. A doorway that insists you lift your head to pass. Bookshelf that keeps testimonies within reach of your hard days. I have appointed angels to the eaves. They mind the gutters when storms overreach. They hum at the windows when worry circles. They stand just inside the door when you step out. So courage has company until you return. Invite me to every room. I will stand where you worship and where you weep, where you work and where you wonder what's next. There is no square foot that isn't perfect for my presence. And when the knock you've waited for finally sounds, answer, say welcome before you see who it is. It will be goodness wearing a familiar face. Mercy smelling like fresh bread, fulfillment smiling like relief. Let the first words be simple. Thank you. Then let the second words be generous. Let's share. You kept faith in the quiet. Now let joy make a little noise. You guarded your yes in winter. Now let spring put flowers on the path. You waited at windows. Now step onto porches and wave blessing down the street. This is not the end of promise. It is the beginning of harvest rhythms. Receive, release, repeat, hold. Nothing with fear. Hold everything with love. I am here, I am faithful. I am not late. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. And if, in the days ahead, you wonder whether the flow will continue, remember the source has not moved. I am the well under your floorboards. I am the river under your road. I am the rain that remembers your name. Lift your cup, even on days you feel small, especially on those days. I fill small first, so you never mistake me for spectacle. Rest now, not the fragile rest of collapse, the solid rest of trust. Let your breathing join the quiet cadence of a kept promise, doing what it does. Arriving, Settling, blessing, spreading. Sleep under the sentence that refuses to be overturned. Wake under the sky that refuses to fall. Live inside the decree that refuses to be revoked. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it.